Hey guys, welcome to Everyday Viral. I am Joe Virus, and this is my Skinny Puppy collection video. Now, I've been a fan of Skinny Puppy since around 1986, 87, listening to college radio in Atlanta, Georgia. I listened to WRAS, which is still around. It's Album 88. And there was a show called Pure Mania, and they would play punk rock and new wave. And then one day the DJ started playing some Skinny Puppy and some Nitzareb and some other bands like that blew my mind. And I was just like totally thrown another direction. So I kind of left my punk rock stuff alone for a while and got really heavy into the industrial side of things. Anyway, Skinny Puppy's always been in the top, one of the top two bands. If I had to put five bands up there, there'd be five bands, but the top two would be Skinny Puppy and Test Department. Interchangeable at times, but I think I have more of a Skinny Puppy collection than a Test Department collection. Although, looking back over here on this wall, I have a Test Department autographed drumhead from their tour back in '96 here in the States. So anyway, but there's some of my collection up there of from the vault posters. Anyway, from Subconscious. But this right here was my Skinny Puppy Bible, basically the my original Skinny Puppy collection. I started printing stuff up at around 1993 or 94, and I moved in with a couple, Scott and Debbie, and in Arlington, and they had internet. We had Prodigy internet service. So the internet back in the day was a lot different than it is today. But so I downloaded all the information I could on Skinny Puppy that I could find. So this book, this is my Skinny Puppy Bible. This has a lot of that information, a lot of interviews and a lot of pictures. So let's take a look inside. I've got all kinds of things like pictures. Here's an old pig face picture I took out of a magazine, printed up. And that was pretty cool. Some interviews with the band. And, it's pages and pages thick of this stuff. I've just got so much of this stuff that I downloaded to read, and I read it all. There's another interview from Discorder magazine, Canadian. I think it's from Vancouver. I have an actual copy of one of their zines, and there's an ad for the Dig It Bigot tour. Skinny Puppy Severed Heads in it. I had Ogre sign that one for me. There's even a frequently asked questions from rec.industrial or rec.music.industrial, Prodigy. This one was this is from 1993, I believe. Yeah, there it is. Last modified December 7th, 1993. Kind of funny stuff. But there's a lot of this stuff. See, printed on 10/3/95. This is actually Dwayne's obituary. Yeah. 6 pages talking about Dwayne, which is really awesome. Then I would copy stuff out of magazines. Xerox copies. We'd go to Kinko's late at night because they were 24 hours back in the day, and we would just sit there and copy stuff. I even, like, some of my books, I would cover I would Xerox the covers of some of my books so I could have extra filler for my Skinny Puppy shrine I was working on. And that shrine moved with me from 3 houses. I first started at my parents' house, and then I moved on to my own apartment in downtown Dallas, and it went with me, and it was all over the walls. And then when I moved in with my with my wife, oh, by the way, Kevin S, you just posted this this magazine on the Skinny Puppy page. This was my Xerox copy of the magazine with the interview that you were showing. 24 hours in Vancouver. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, I have the whole interview here, so in case I got rid of the magazine, I could still read it. So, anyway, I've got all this stuff. It's really cool. It was like I said, this was my Skinny Puppy Bible because all the information I needed to know about Skinny Puppy was there. This is that's part of the Skinny Puppy, part of the Industrial Revolution book. Here it is. Here's the first part of it. So, and that's where that picture originated. So that's pretty cool. More Xeroxes. Ah, the discography. This is the discography at that point in time, and I think I just printed up the bootleg portion of it so I could find all the bootlegs. That was a big thing for me, was finding all the bootlegs, because, you know, the bootlegs, you can get bootlegs on cassette that somebody ripped and recorded and whatever, but what I liked finding were the original pressed, you know, foreign pressed CDs that aren't just CDRs or burns or whatever that they would actually make. Like Fractal Zoom was actually put out by a label, and then Kill to Cure I'm still looking for. If I could find Kill to Cure, I mean, it's the same stuff that's on Fractal Zoom, it's just a different cover, and I've always wanted that. I do have Land of Technology, an original Fractal Zoom. Let's see, I have an original Heaven's Trash. I don't have an original Ain't Enough Dead Damn Puppy. I think that was a cassette compilation. And then In the Land of Technology, I haven't found either, so I'm looking for that too. I mean, and these were the original bootlegs, so all the stuff that came out after, okay, whatever. You know, I have Intolerance, and I have a couple of other things, but those were the ones I was looking for. So that's that first half of the Skinny Puppy Bible. So then I have all these clippings from magazines and some full magazines here. I'm trying to figure out what this is. Skinny Puppy. Purveyors of the self-invented audio sculpture, what the ignorant still term as industrial, in other words, noise, at the Institute. This was for the Too Dark Park tour. They played 2 nights in a row. I only knew about one night. I was out of town for the first show. I came back in town, and everybody was out. I couldn't find any of my friends. They were at the second show that I could have gone to if I knew about the second show. So, cut out of a magazine. I guess that's Ministry. Yep, with Ogre in the middle. More Ogre stuff. This is out of a magazine. It's from the Last Rites tour. Oh no, Too Dark Park tour. Is Puppy dead? This was a big controversial time period for them. Here's the original tribute obituary of Dwayne, from AP. I think it was AP magazine. Was it? No, Rolling Stone. Wow, this was the one from Rolling Stone. Yeah, a lot of this, you know, a lot of the fans that were fans back then when all this happened. I mean, this it drained us all. I mean, we were all just in shock. And I know I cried a long time. I've never even met Dwayne, but just it was a hard time for everybody that loved the band. And here's that interview. 24 Hours in Vancouver. This is from Alternative Press magazine. I wish I had the date still on this thing. I had ripped the magazine out, ripped the cover, and used the cover in part of the shrine I have. More neato pictures. Who's that helper there that was helping Ogre walk around? I know they had helpers on stage at most of their tours. And hanging there, there's the band. And then Alternative Press even I think that's a picture of Dwayne that they used in the background, all the gray shading from the Too Dark Park tour, I believe. Could be wrong. Anyway, a lot of AP magazines. Here's that other one that you showed. So there, page 38, some Skinny Puppy. So this is kind of, I mean, this was our internet back then. This is how we got our information. We would go to the bookstore and grab all the cool magazines that had anything to do with any of the bands that we loved, you know. There's that Shangri-La picture in there. Canine Affliction. You know, this was, there we go. March of '96 was this one. So, you know, and it's all these, you know, it talks about Download, it talks about Welt, the Ogre's project that I guess became Ogre. You know, and then of course Ministry. 50 pages to Ministry, 3 to Skinny Puppy, so you know how that goes. Oh, Tear Garden interview. Here's something cool. This is out of B-Side magazine from 94, I think. Yeah, there it goes. February, March 94. A Tear Garden interview with Kevin and Edward. That's pretty awesome. So, like I said, this was my Bible forever. Anyway, so let's get into what's this stuff. Oh, Propaganda magazine. Here's something for the old school goth kids. Marilyn Manson, Oscar Wilde. You know, Gothic Chronicle. Why was Skinny Puppy not listed on the cover when there's a big, huge thing? Oh, because it's the death of Skinny Puppy. You know, it was so dark, man. We all thought it was over. I mean, I cried when I thought Skinny Puppy was over for good, you know? And, I mean, in a way, Skinny Puppy as it used to be, it was gone forever, but, you know, it was a hard time for a lot of us fans. You know, I mean, I was through the ringer. This is something newer this is something newer. I think this is in a horror magazine. It's all talking about the undeveloped world of Nivik Ogre. Then I got this. This was awesome. Here, let's see here. What's over here? Oh, that's an older picture. I love that picture. I took that idea, having a TV set on a little pedestal like that, and I had that in my room for years after I saw this picture. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, there's the undeveloped. It's pretty cool. You need to have all this stuff. This is newer. This is 2004. You know, 2004 Remix magazine. Prodigy on the cover. But what's this? What's this? Skinny Puppy. Let's see. The Dark Arts. Breaking an 8-year silence, Skinny Puppy sheds the nostalgia and exposes the great or wrong of the right. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. We all got excited. And this is what I like. Studio Duality. This has a lot of the preferred tools at the time, 2004, of what Kevin Key had in his studio and what Mark Walk had in his studio. So it was pretty neat to see that. And yes, pretty much the reason I went and started running Logic Pro. That's why, yeah, because right there it says Logic Pro. That's when I started using Logic. When I read that, inspired me, and I've taken that and still do that. Oh, and the last thing that's in this collection is this stuff. This is a lot of download stuff from '96, and the Brat Back and Forth set. A lot of postcards I got, and you know, I think that's Vivisect era there, but more Brat things. And then some pictures that I got from a friend of mine of Ogre at the Bronco Bowl here in Dallas. This was from the Dallas show. Alright, these are pictures from '96 when I first met Kevin Key after a download show down in Houston. It was pretty cool. There's Mark Spivey. Here's Mark Spivey from a recent Legendary Pink Dot show, and then when I say recent, probably around 2000. It was a more recent show, Mark Spivey. And some pictures from the download show. More pictures from Kevin Key at his Drumosaurus. Mark Spivey singing again. This was a really cool show in Houston at Numbers. Anyway, so that's what was in this collected box. Is a lot of these photographs that I took. A lot of them I was stupid and used a flash, so you can't see anything, and then the ones I didn't use a flash, you can't see anything. There's Mark Spivey. This was at the Legendary Pink Dot show at Trees years and years and years ago. And, there's another picture of Ogre from the Last Rites tour. Anyway, so that concludes this portion of the puppy collection. I'm going to move to another area now.